So are you one of those people that when your car makes a funny noise, you run down to the nearest repair shop, hand them your credit card and say, "Please help me"? Don't be one of those people. So this squealing noise my car is making is the water pump. Isn't that fun? That's better. Well, the first thing you got to do when your car is making a funny noise is you got to figure out exactly where that noise is coming from. So you saw me using just a piece of tubing, plastic tubing, and stick that up to your ear and you poke it around the engine and you can determine the general vicinity of where the noise is coming from. And then you saw me using a type of stethoscope, and it's actually a solid metal probe that when you touch it to the metal housing of whatever happens to be making the noise, you can hear it very distinctly. That's a very inexpensive tool to buy. By using that tool, I was able to touch the alternator, I was able to touch the belt tensioner and other areas of the engine, but when I put it on the water pump, it was very noticeable. And that tells me that I need to replace the water pump. So we're going to look into that. This video isn't about how to replace the water pump on a 2002 GMC Yukon with a 5.3 liter engine. I mean, there's a half a dozen videos at least on YouTube showing you exactly step by step how to do that. This video is about knowing that there's something wrong with your vehicle and taking the steps to determine what it is so that you can decide if it's something you can do yourself or if it's something you need to take into a shop and have done and not get ripped off in the process. I realize that not everyone has the aptitude or the interest to work on their own car. But when you own something, it's up to you to make sure that you take care of it, right? I mean, a lot of people, probably 90%, something goes wrong with their car, some small thing, and they don't have the money to get it fixed, and they don't know how to do it themselves, and they let it go. And then a second thing goes wrong with the car, some other little thing, and they don't take care of that either, and then a third thing happens, and pretty soon you're driving around in a rolling junkyard. And the key is to not let your vehicle get to that point. You want to take care of each and every little thing as it goes wrong so that your car stays in the best shape possible. Because you need it to pick up the kids, and you need it to get to work, and you need it to get to the grocery store. And it's an expensive investment. You can't afford to let it go downhill. Well, I just want to talk to you a bit about taking care of these things as they happen and making that decision on yourself as to whether you need to take it in or just something you can just fix. Well, maybe your car is displaying a check engine light, and there's a simple way to figure that one out too. Let me show you something. So if you've got a check engine light on your car, that's a fault code. It means that your car's computer has picked up a component on your engine, probably electronic module or something that's faulty. And they make code readers that plug in under your dash. This one I got years ago. I think it cost me like 15 or 20 bucks. And it plugs in underneath the dashboard to that funny looking electronic plug that's there. And so if you've got a check engine light, you can use one of these that connects up to a smartphone. And let me show you. I use this program called Torque Pro. And you just get it from the Playstore. It might cost you a couple bucks or something. But it'll read those diagnostic codes as well as show you what else is going on in your engine. Of course, nowadays you can just go to Amazon and you can buy an OBD2 code reader or scanner. And I think for about 35 bucks. In fact, there's one that I know of that I'll list in the description down below. And it just plugs directly in under the dash and you just read the code directly from that. And then what you do is you go to your computer and you look the code up and it tells you what module has failed on your engine. And then once you know that, you can decide for yourself if it's something that you can replace yourself. You can look it up on YouTube, a video on how to replace the throttle position sensor or something. Now, I had to do that last summer while we were on one of our trips. But you can look it up and see if it's something you can handle or if it's something you need to take it to a shop for. Here's that plug under the dash that I was talking about. Now, all cars have them. It might be in a different place underneath your dash, but it's going to be easily accessible, and you just plug that code reader right into it. But this video is for the person who doesn't normally work on their cars or is maybe a little intimidated by it. Anybody that knows anything about working on their own vehicle knows all about code readers and things like that, and they have a box full of tools and everything. But I'm just trying to save you a little bit of money because a lot of the things that go wrong with your car, you can fix easily yourself without paying big bucks for a shop to do it. So my point here is that you try to figure out what's wrong with your car before you just run it down to the nearest shop and hand over that credit card like I mentioned. Because sometimes what can be a $20 repair for you to do might be a $300 or $400 repair to hire a shop to do it. But now let's get back to the trouble I was having on this car, and let me show you how we handled that repair. Well, there's two things I want to know right now. I want to know how much this part is going to cost me, and I want to know how easy or hard it's going to be to replace it. One of the places I like to go online is rockauto.com. Because I can put in the car and the part, and it won't just show me one part. It'll show me several different parts that I can choose from. I just choose over here. It's a GMC. It's a 2002, and it's a Yukon, and it's got the 5.3 engine in it. And now it brings up a list of all the different parts. In this case, it's cooling system, and it lists all, it could be engine or exhaust and emission or ignition or whatever, but I know it's cooling system. And I scroll down here to where it says water pump, and now it brings up a bunch of water pumps. They start at $55.89. So what do you get? Well, let's see here. These are standard replacements. These are economy replacements. All right, and that's my choice, is standard or economy. Now here's something that's important. Some of these say OEM. That's original equipment. And that tells you that it's going to be made to the same specifications as the part that originally went in your car. Well, listen, you're saving a lot of money on labor here, so let's not try to save money on the cost of the replacement part itself. So maybe the cheapest one isn't the way to go. Let's just look down the list here. There's two gates. This one here without the thermostat, and this one down here with the thermostat and housing. Gates is a well-known brand, and they're both OEM. So the one with the thermostat is $97.79. Well, that's a bit more than $55.89 for the cheapest one, but this is an OEM part, so you're not going to be buying something that's of lesser quality. I'm just going to go with the Gates one here because I happen to know they make good parts. But it's not the cheapest, it's not the most expensive, but it's that OEM, it's an original part. $97.79. Okay, well, here's my point though. I know that I can buy this part. I know that the labor on it is going to cost a lot of money to have it put in, probably several $100s at least. So here I can buy the part for $97.79, and you know that if you get this part in a repair shop, they're going to charge you twice that. So you're going to save $100 right here just by buying the part yourself. So anyways, point is I know what's wrong with my car because I figured it out. I know what the part's going to cost, but what's it going to be like sticking that in? Well, I'll show you. Just going to go to YouTube, put in a search for my car, 2002 Yukon water pump. Replacement. Look, it jumps right up here. 2002 Yukon water pump replacement right there. And here they are. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a whole bunch of videos you can watch that show you how to do this. So you can pick and choose. You can watch as many videos as you like. You can determine if you're comfortable with doing this yourself, or if you want to take it into a shop. Now you know what goes, after watching a couple videos, you'll know what goes into replacing it. And you can ask them up front, how much is this going to cost me? And you'll know what you're talking about when the mechanic's talking to you. And you'll also know if he's pulling your leg or not. Now, I got to say that I've had pretty good luck with mechanics in the town that I'm in, and chances are you will too. But there's always the ones that'll try to take advantage of you, especially if they can tell that you don't know what you're talking about, then you kind of stand a chance of getting taken advantage of. Okay, well, I've determined this is something I can handle myself, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. First of all, one of the things you should have is a Haynes or a Chilton's manual for your vehicle, whatever year it is. And that'll explain the repairs, show you how to do the repairs. Water pump, check and replacement. Well, the first part is telling you about what some of the symptoms might be and some of the things you need to think about. The actual replacement is only from here to here. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 8 paragraphs. And part of it is on 6-cylinder and part of it's on 8-cylinder. So you see, the whole repair is right there. So you can read it and see if it sounds like something you can do or not. Well, in this case, I see that it's something that's not very difficult, so I know I'm going to do it myself. Well, my parts have arrived. Brand new water pump, comes with a thermostat housing, and I decided to replace the lower radiator hose because, hey, while you're in there and have to disconnect it anyway, might as well put on a brand new one. Also, by reading the instructions, I knew I was going to need a couple gallons of antifreeze and some RTV sealant, which I got. So it's important to have everything you think you're going to need on hand before you start. Because if you're like me, you only got one car and it's a little hard to drive it to the auto parts store when it's all tore apart. Okay, let's get started. Now I know this video is probably long and I've done a lot of talking and it's probably kind of boring, but I'm just trying to save you some cash. A lot of us can't afford new cars. We have to drive these ones that we need to do repairs on once in a while. You know, if your car is new and you can just take it down and have it repaired under warranty. The rest of us aren't like that, though. We need to handle everything ourselves. So, anyways, hope I helped you in some way. If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you around.